The last episode concluded with Ilnam and Ali perishing while competing against Gi-hun and Sang-woo respectively. Ali is placed into a coffin by the staff, while the victorious players are escorted back to the room. Deoksu is the first to enter and is surprised to find Minyo peacefully resting on her bed. She mocks him, proud of the fact that she didn't have to participate in the game because she was without a partner. The fundamental rule of the game is fairness. Since the doctor's death resulted in her not having a partner, Minyo was spared. Now, only 17 players remain. In a different room, the overseer receives a call from the VIPs, notifying him of their imminent arrival. After the call, the overseer retrieves his gun and summons Junho to come out. Junho had deliberately positioned the phone receiver incorrectly, revealing his presence. The overseer searches the room for the intruder, but is interrupted by a call. His staff has discovered a dead body on the north coast of the island. When he leaves, it is revealed that Junho is hiding behind the shelves. Meanwhile, all the players are distraught over the previous game. Each of them lost someone close to them. Sang-woo, however, advises Gi-hun not to dwell on it too much, reminding him that the old man was merely a stranger they had known for a short time. One player had entered the facility with his wife, and she was killed in the last game because of him. Overcome with guilt, he urges everyone to stop the madness by voting against the final 2 games. Sang-woo disagrees, arguing that the money is worth the lives lost, and they can't give up now. He even tells the man that if he felt so guilty, he should have died in his wife's place. Sang-woo's ruthless nature is evident, having previously tricked Ali into dying, and Gi-hun begins to see his friend's greed. Meanwhile, the overseer inspects the body of the person Junho had thrown into the sea upon his arrival on the island. They find Junho's ID in the man's pocket and assume he is the police officer. However, the overseer's demeanor changes upon seeing the ID. At that moment, he receives another call informing him that the VIPs have arrived. The overseer hurries to meet his superior, the main organizer of the games, who removes his golden, bedazzled animal mask and instructs the overseer to welcome the VIPs because he prefers not to do it himself. The VIPs are revealed to be wealthy foreigners who bet on the players' lives as others do with horses. The overseer greets them, apologizes on behalf of the organizer, and escorts them to their exclusive lounge. Back in the room, no one sleeps, fearing for their lives. The man whose wife died is overwhelmed with guilt. Recalling Sang-woo's harsh words, he ties a bedsheet around his neck and hangs himself on the bunk bed. One of the VIPs notices this in the surveillance footage and is annoyed, having bet $1 million on the man. The others laugh it off, showing that money is the least of their problems, and they do this for amusement. Meanwhile, Junho abducts a waiter assigned to serve the VIPs with drinks. He changes into the waiter's clothes and disguises himself after killing him. He also places his phone in his sleeve to record everything he sees. Meanwhile, the players are awakened by an alarm and see a coffin being brought inside. They finally see that a man has hanged himself. Before they can understand what happened, they are called for the 5th game. The VIPs relax in the luxurious lounge while watching the players and deciding on whom to bet. Junho enters the area, and a lecherous VIP's eyes land on him. He calls Junho over and asks him to stand nearby. This time, the players are brought to the empty white room again, but now it has 16 mannequins in front of them. They are told to choose one randomly. Everyone tries to go for the middle ones because being at the front or back is risky. Before Gi-hun can choose, only the first and last ones are left. Gi-hun reasons that if he goes first, he might have more time and a better chance of winning. He is about to take the first one when another player asks if he can take the first one instead. Gi-hun agrees and takes the last one. They are then brought to the place where they will play the game. It has a bridge of glass panels they are supposed to cross, but some of the glass is tempered and will break under their weight, causing them to fall. The man who chose the first position goes first and has a higher chance of falling. He accepts his fate and moves forward, but falls on the second step. Similarly, the second man jumps quickly on the first few glasses, but eventually falls. After a while, it's the priest's turn. He starts praying instead of moving, angering those behind him. The person right behind tries to push him off, but falls instead. The priest thanks God for saving him, only to be pushed off by the person behind him. Sang-woo is nervous because they are taking too long, risking their chances of getting across in time. Eventually, the person before Deoksu falls, leaving him at the front. He is too scared to move and tells his minion to go ahead. The man refuses, saying it's a matter of life and death. Meanwhile, the VIP attracted to Junho asks him to sit beside him. He flirts with Junho and asks him to remove his mask. Junho knows that removing the mask will reveal his identity, but the VIP insists. With no other option, Junho asks the man to come to another room where he can remove his mask. The man, ignoring the game, goes to the other room with Junho. He then takes off his robe and stands naked, expecting sexual favors. Junho, however, pulls out his gun and threatens the man to remove his mask. The VIP is revealed to be a wealthy, middle-aged American. Junho takes his picture as evidence. Back in the game, Minyo pushes Deoksu's minion off the glass and takes his place. She and Deoksu exchange insults before she agrees to go ahead. She doesn't want him to waste her time as only 3 minutes are left. She steps onto his glass, but instead of moving forward, grabs hold of him. Minyo reminds Deoksu of her threat to kill him if he betrayed her. Deoksu tries to shake her off, but they both fall off the bridge. Now, only 4 players are left. Gi-hun at the end, followed by Sebyok, Sang-woo, and an old man who claims to be a glassmaker with 30 years of experience. The man can distinguish the tempered glass by its reflection. He passes the first few glasses, bringing the group closer to victory. However, the VIPs notice his ability and turn off the lights. He reaches the last glass, but can't tell which one is tempered. Taking too long, Sang-woo pushes him onto the glass in front of him, causing it to break. Sang-woo steps onto the next one and wins. Sebyok and Gi-hun do the same, passing at the last second. The remaining glass shatters, injuring the winners. Sang-woo and Gi-hun get minor cuts, but Sebyok is severely hurt. Meanwhile, the overseer instructs a staff member to check on the VIP and the waiter, but they find both missing. They also discover an oxygen tank is missing, indicating the intruder has escaped. The overseer sets out on a boat to search for him. Sang-woo, Sebyok, and Gi-hun are the only 3 left out of the original 456 players. They return to the room where Gi-hun berates Sang-woo for killing the glassmaker when they could have all made it through. Sang-woo retorts, telling Gi-hun to be grateful for doing the dirty work. He calls Gi-hun an idiot who doesn't understand how the real world works. Sebyok, meanwhile, lies on her bed, holding her sides in pain. As the two fight, the staff enter the room and commend them for completing the 5 rounds and finally advancing to the 6th. They hand each player a box and invite them somewhere special. Sebyok heads to the washroom and removes her clothes, revealing a shard of glass embedded in her abdomen. She painfully extracts it and bandages the wound with her shirt. The box given by the staff contains fancy clothes, which the players are supposed to wear. They are then taken to a triangular dining table and served a lavish dinner. The men devour their food completely, except for Sebyok, who barely touches hers due to her injury. After dinner, the staff collect their utensils, but leave them with a knife. Meanwhile, Junho is fleeing from the overseer and finds himself on another side of the island. His phone finally gets reception, and he sends his superior the pictures he took at the facility. However, before he can escape, the staff and the overseer catch up to him. Trapped between the staff and a cliff, Junho has no way out. The overseer demands that he drop his gun, but Junho holds his ground. The overseer moves towards him, prompting Junho to shoot him in the shoulder. At that moment, the overseer removes his mask, revealing himself to be Junho's brother, In-ho, the man Junho had been searching for all this time. In-ho points his gun at Junho and reluctantly shoots him. Junho falls into the sea. Back at the facility, the trio returns to their room and stay in their respective corners, as far apart as possible. Gi-hun approaches Se-byok and asks if she is okay. Se-byok initially points her knife at him, but puts it away when he assures her he means no harm. Gi-hun proposes they work together in the next round as he no longer trusts Sang-woo. Se-byok, still in pain, asks what he will do if he wins the money. Gi-hun says he will pay off his debts, treat his mother, and be a good father to his daughter. Se-byok tells him about her brother, and they promise to take care of each other's families if they win. Gi-hun then sees Sang-woo falling asleep and moves towards him with his knife, but Se-byok stops him, saying they shouldn't stoop to his level. At that moment, Gi-hun notices Se-byok's injury. She is bleeding profusely through her shirt. Gi-hun panics and starts shouting for the staff to come and save her. As he bangs on the door, some staff enter, but they bring a coffin with them. Gi-hun looks back at Se-byok to find Sang-woo near her with a knife. He had stabbed her to death while Gi-hun was begging the staff to help. Gi-hun loses control and shakes Se-byok's limp body, trying to wake her. He attacks Sang-woo in a fit of rage, but is stopped by the guards. Eventually, they take Se-byok's body away and burn it in the furnace. The final contestants of the game are Gi-hun and Sang-woo. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to support the channel. Thank you for watching.